Hi and welcome to the engineering school. So in today's lessons we will go through some basic solid modeling. We will look at some commands that help us to design our desired product. So over here we have some basic shapes like a block, cylinder, cone, sphere and ellipsoid. Then we have the commands extrude, revolve, sweep and loft. So actually these four commands over here require a sketch, but this one doesn't. So we can start with the basic shapes and see how we can apply them to our design. By clicking on this arrow down here, you can see the roll down menu. And here you can choose what kind of shape you want to use. So we start with a block. We can actually place it wherever we want. Let's just place it there. Okay, and then we can just drag it around and see how or where we want to position it. Over here on the left side we can see the command bar, and here we have the options to choose where we want to position it from. For example, from the middle or side points. So let's just give it some dimensions here. You can just drag it, and this is just to show the concept. We don't have to care about exact dimensionings. So we just confirm. The good thing about this is that you can use various basic shapes. Let's use a cylinder over here. So if I place it right here, I can choose to remove material, add material, and I can choose to add another solid body. So let's just remove material. Another thing, if you click here, you can see that you can define the exact position of the point of origin, or you can press down here and you can choose the position from all the commands over here. So let's just confirm. We can add another block, just press there, and then we can just drag it out and yeah, let's make it something like this. And we want to add this to our model. So if we actually click on base and confirm, you see here that there are two different bodies. On the left you can see that we have two solid bodies, this and this. So if we right click on this once again and redefine it, then we can choose to add it to the model. Confirm. Now we only have one solid model. Another thing we have is spheres. I had it preset on Boolean shape, but we can add material, remove material. Here you can just choose, okay, let's remove material. So you see here we have removed material in the shape of a sphere. Of course, if you want to, you can just redefine everything or move it as you want. Okay, so now we have changed the position, and it's actually really practical commands. So when and how do you use this? Okay, so I would say that you would use this command if you just want to construct a quick concept, because if you try to design a complete product using this, it's going to be hard to modify once you have all these basic shapes. So basically, if you want to prove a concept real fast, or you want to design just a 3D printed fixture or something that's not really important, you can use it also just to play around. But if you want to design something more advanced that can be modified and changed easily, not only by you but by other team members, I suggest that you go with the classical commands over here. That gives you more control over the process. But one good thing to know is that these commands like the sphere and ellipsoid are really handy to use when you try to get a specific curvature or a specific geometry on, let's say, an advanced surface. So that lets you position it exactly where you want, and you can use, for example, remove material, or you can use a Boolean shape, or just add this shape to your design. So it's very handy. Okay, so from now we can go on to the extrude command. So I will create a specific sketch because it's not good enough with the basic shapes in my case. So after I created the sketch, we can move on. Okay, so I have created the sketch. So to make the extrusion, we just choose the extrude command and click on our sketch. So let's make it 10 millimeters. And you can also use this to remove material. For example, we create a new sketch here. And we offset the edges. Okay. And once again, we click on the extrude command. We click on our sketch. But instead of adding material, we remove it. So we click here. And let's say -2 millimeters. So you can see we have created a cutout. Basically, we use this command most of the times, the extrude command, and as you can see, this geometry would be really hard to create with the basic shape. So that's how you use the extrude command, and let's move on to the revolve command now. And once again, we need a sketch, so I'm gonna create the sketch and we will go from there. Alright, so here we have our sketch. You can see it looks like an L. And the revolve command is, as you can hear by the name, we revolve the sketch around an axis. So let's think of this as our axis, the Z-axis. And the contour will be the outer profiles. The finished part will be round. Let's click on the revolve command, choose the profile. And you can see here we can choose where to put our axis, and we want it to be in the middle, so we just confirm it. And here we have the finished product. It's a really handy command when you want to create some round object, for example something that is turned, machined. This command is really good and helpful. And as the extrude command and all the other commands, actually you can use it to remove material, add material, make a new solid body, or use different Boolean shapes. So this is the revolve command, a really easy and handy command. Now let's move on to the sweep command. Now this is a little bit different because we will be using two sketches. I'm gonna make the sketches and we go from there. So here we have our two sketches. As you can see, I have reused the sketch from the previous command, and I have the path here as well. You need those two sketches to make the sweep command. So one thing to keep in mind is that both of the sketches need to connect to make this command possible. So let's choose the sweep command, and we can choose the contour and the path and confirm. So here's the result. This was just an example. Of course, you can use it in many different ways. You're free to explore and find the suitable application. This is a really good command when you want a specific contour to follow along a path. For example, when you want to create a spring or something with a uniform contour all the way. So this was the sweep command. Now we will move on to the loft command, which is a little bit different, but still a really good command. So now we have our profiles ready for the loft command. Let's go ahead and choose it, and then we can click on the profiles we want to use. And you can see that we get a smooth transition between the profiles, and depending on the size of your profiles and the spacing, you get a different result. But you can see that we created a really nice shape, some basic circles. And of course, depending on how many sketches you have, you can control the outcome of your loft more precise, and also the geometry. You don't have to use circles, you can play around and try different shapes. So let's move on now to the fillets and chamfers. So let's create a block or a plate. We just place it here in the middle and give it the dimensions we want. It's not so important right now. First, we want to create a fillet. There are two ways you can do this. You can either click on the fillet command, or you can just double click on an edge and give it the dimensions you want. Of course, you can choose multiple edges if you want to, and you just confirm it. It's not harder than that. The same goes for the chamfer command. Just choose it and click on the edges you want it to apply to and confirm. So you're gonna find yourself using fillets quite a lot actually in designs, and this is a really basic example of what you can do with fillets. For today's lesson, we can recap. We have gone through the basic shapes, how to use them, and the extrude command, how to use it. Probably the command we will use most of the time designing. The revolve command, sweep and loft, and we have also looked at the fillet and the chamfer command. And these are commands for solid modeling. Remember that you can use commands in ZW3D for solid modeling and surface modeling. On this episode, we just wanted to focus on solid modeling. We will go through surface modeling in the future, and that is when you create the really advanced geometry. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's lesson, and you are welcome to join us on the next episode where we will talk about assemblies.